cake, there was some ice cream involved called 7 million.
Absolutely. And Clayster, we got to talk about how cool this is and how unique it is for some of the clubs, because the CEO of the team was in competition. He made it deep into EAFC.
Yeah, and to see the passion coming out of him as it announced that the Falcons did secure the #1 spot in the club championship, it was getting me a little misty-eyed back here. And
Mic check, mic check. Come on now. Yes, sir. But we in there. Man, hey, I'm a little bit late, but hey, I'm here. Ready to go. Match number 1. Optic versus FaZe, bro. Optic versus FaZe, bro. Come on, man. This is gonna be a boy. This is gonna be insane. This is going to be insane, bro. Holy. Man, hold on. I gotta. This is gonna be insane. Apologize for that. I know that's loud.
They are officially our club champions for EWC 2024.
You got to think, after people seeing what Team Falcons have done, they're going to have to make some better rosters next time around for EWC. The competition will only get better. Team Falcons, your champions.
Today, though, on this stage, we are
man.
on Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3.
I need lights, bro. It's too dark in here, man.
For this title, and they'll be playing once again in our Amazon Arena, Clay.
It's alright, we're here.
It's the biggest and best stage we've ever played on. Maybe not
We're here,
in
bro.
terms of crowd, but in terms of the
It's
actual
cool.
stage, it's amazing what they've done out here in Riyadh, and I can't wait to see if we come back again.
Ali, and of course, there was some serious money for the club championship, but not a bad week of work. $1.8 million on the line. And for the team,
That's crazy how we get 1.8, but like we can, but like Valorant and everything else gets $8 million. That's insane. Is that not insane? Nobody thinks that's insane. To me, that's crazy. To me, that's insane.
The big surprise for me. Let's take a look at the bracket and
Doesn't
highlight
make
how they
sense at
got
all.
here. Clayster, you saw this
Let
one
me see if
coming.
my mic
You
works.
said 100 Thieves were
Hold
going
on,
to take down
stream.
Toronto.
My mic works.
But they did
Yeah, we
get
good,
top
we good, we
four.
good, we good.
I expected it. They kept their
Alright,
team
bet. Let's
together.
get it.
They kept that confidence, that camaraderie between themselves. And they're showing it here at the EWC. They're going up against Vancouver Surge. It's going to be a tough one, Chris.
On the other side of the bracket, we have Optic versus FaZe, but I want to dial in on
I can't wait for that one.
Cremp getting blown out in map number 1
Yeah,
by
Cramp
Toronto
isn't.
Ultra.
Cramp
But it was his
has
first
some
official
bad
win
games,
that
yo.
changed this
But then he
series
picked it
on
up in a
its
search and destroy. I'm not gonna lie, he did pick it up in a search and destroy.
So many first bloods, and when you talk about that game 2 search, they were down in that map. Crimp rallies back. He was 3-6, ends 10-8 with 3 first bloods, and then on that last map, once again, Crimp and Ghosty take over to get them the win.
That is one of, I think, the best performances we've seen from Kremp. He obviously had a slow start when it came to the respawns, but he showed up where it mattered in the search and destroy. He had been an inconsistent player throughout the season, but he showed up when it mattered. And my favorite thing is once we get to the key crush, like it's a triangle, the triangle of death continues for Toronto Ultra. 100 Thieves beats Toronto, Toronto beats Atlanta, Atlanta beats 100 Thieves. So now with Atlanta's Achilles heel in
If Toronto can beat
knocked out,
Atlanta,
they're in a really good spot moving forward.
then bro, we can beat Atlanta.
Royal Ravens last year. They were the worst team in the league.
Right.
He comes
Optic
in
can beat
100 Thieves
FaZe
after
if
they're at the
Toronto
bottom
can
of
beat
the
them.
leaderboard, and he
Right.
and Kremp are
The
having
way
a
that we're
huge impact
playing,
on
dude.
Riyadh.
Yeah, and we look at the top
Did you
4.
see
There's
yesterday,
a lot
bro?
of
If
forward
you guys were
players
here
not
yesterday,
from
you guys
North
saw
American
it.
soil, and I love to see
The
this
hard
along
point
with
on
Esports
fucking
Nasty
6-star,
coming over.
the
We have
SD on
Paul
6-star.
on Vancouver
Oh
Surge
my
from
god,
France. And
bro.
then it's just crazy to me that COD is now global. It's not
Crazy.
just
Then the
focused on
last
North
map was
America.
close,
Speak
but
about the French speakers because we had
oh,
a
3 viewers
Booza
already?
and
What's
Brizzy
going
put
on, yo?
clinic.
Welcome
It
to the
wasn't
stream, yo.
greatest of wins, but they
Already,
took down
bro.
Carolina Royal Ravens, and when they got those dubs,
Welcome to the
they
stream,
were
guys.
the clear favorites in each one of those maps.
The Vancouver Surge, they've been working on their game. The hardpoint got so much better when they made this roster, but they
Hope you
needed
guys
to get better
are
at
having a good
Surge.
day,
So
man.
far throughout this tournament, they
I
have
saw
not
the
lost
stream a
Surge
little bit
and
late.
Destroy.
That's my
They have
fault.
been excellent there, and we saw that
But
put
we
on
here.
display yesterday in that game 5. It was a grueling series up against the Royal Ravens. Beans came out going absolutely crazy, so they had to respond. And even with the slow start, you got guys like 04 who can take
A lot of
over.
people forget about Hook. The man is a champion across multiple titles after coming over from Halo here in Call of Duty Modern Warfare
Yo,
3.
Hook
People were
looks
kinda looking at him as
different,
an
bro.
underdog.
I've
Hook
seen
has
him
been smile
when he was
since he's
15 and
arrived here in
14,
Riyadh.
bro,
I
that
don't know
kid
what it is
looks
about Hoop, but
insanely
there needs to be
different.
a documentary made on this guy. He's had an incredible
Crazy.
career throughout multiple different games, world championships, and now making a name
There's
for
a
himself on
documentary
Vancouver
out
Surge.
for him.
I was a little surprised that Surge stuck together after Call of Duty camps because they bombed out there, simply put. But they came out here, they're showing why they stuck together, fighting for a spot in the grand finals, and maybe going for that 150K in their pockets.
And shout out to the rookies, Abuza and 04 in the running for Rookie of the Year after beating Carolina. Abuza said, "That's my Rookie of the Year." 04 says, "That's my key. It's my turn to crush you."
Yeah, 04 is one of the more impressive rookies that we've had in a while, right? Like, he came up so fast. It's like instantly from challengers. He had a great tournament, gets put in a tough spot, and he has to be that aggressive SMG, and he has been excellent with these guys around him. There's no
Look at
telling
Hoop.
what they can do.
Oh,
They're
man.
going to keep powering forward in the bracket,
That's
though.
hella
You got to
different.
think it's going to come down to the play from Abuza. Can he keep these numbers rolling, Alley Cat?
I think he can. Abuza has been one of the most consistent players and the most consistent on this team throughout the entirety of the season. And there were times we forgot he even was a rookie because of the plays he would make and how consistent he was. So expect to see him fry today.
We've got another squad to talk about. They're always at the top of the leaderboard every regular season, but Champs has been eluding them. Atlanta FaZe is here to make bank. They want the trophy. They are hungrier than ever, but everyone is saying it. They've had the easiest run. They were in Group D. They boppity-bopped 100 Thieves with a hot 3-0. They took care of Boston yesterday with another 3-0. How is Atlanta so consistent, and can they keep it going on a Sunday?
I do think
Not
that they can
against
keep it
Optic.
going, and I think what makes them so
Not
consistent is
against
that
Optic.
core of Simp, Abizi, and Celium has been together for so long, they don't even need to communicate sometimes. It's like they're telepathic, they know what's going on, they know what each other is thinking, and they all four had to perform because Awakening on Boston Breach was absolutely frying in this series, and they all had to perform to surmount him.
Yeah, I mean, when you do look at their road, though, they're the only team left that hasn't beat a top 4 team. So questions
Let me say
still
something real
remain
quick.
unanswered when you talk about the Atlanta FaZe.
Awakening was the
They
only
struggled
person
to
that was
match
going
up
off
against
in
the
this
world
match
champions
right
in
here.
this round. So for these
The only
guys,
person for
it
real.
would rectify their year if they could
Awakening,
come in and
sometimes
win this
Cammy,
championship. You know they
maybe
want.
Purge a
The
little
coolest
bit.
part of this match for me
But
was the fact they were down over 100
Optic,
points in hard point.
literally,
Awakening's dropping 40
each and every
bombs,
one of
yet
them
they still claw back in that
goes
game
off.
behind Traza. He led the way, but it's Celium who
They
gets
go
the
off.
honors of crushing the key.
And you know, this
They
is
have
just
their
so fun.
moments.
You see all the
They do
players
their
watch
thing.
his saluting
So,
goodbye to the key.
with
Celium
that being
puts it
said,
in
it's
his
not gonna be
mouth
the
for some reason, like a
same
medal.
Boston
I
Breach
don't
match. I
really
still don't know
agree
who
with
the
that
fuck
decision,
this
but I do
is.
agree with
Who
the
is
fact that
Tucker,
the
man?
results
Somebody
is gonna
please
be
tell me in
our
the
great
comments who is this
response.
guy,
Sunday
man.
is usually where we see Atlanta FaZe kind of struggle, and
Anyways, but
he's
yeah,
got
let's
to
see.
step up for them if
I
they
just
want
want this shit to start, man.
lock it up.
That thing's
I want this shit to
55%
start already,
going.
but
Just gotta test it with the mandibles, you know.
It's
All
the
right,
drip
let's talk
test,
a
you
little
know?
bit about another squad to keep eyes on. They
Optic.
had the crowd going wild last night. That, of course, is Optic Gaming. Optic facing off against Cloud9, the rematch from World Champs. This time around, a 3-1. Optic taking care of business. Pred, Shotzi, Kenny, everyone contributing to the win last night.
Yeah, you know, this match meant a lot to Optic Gaming, right? Because people were saying, like, the crowd gave them a buff
Yeah.
at the last tournament, and here they wanted to showcase
That's
they were
crazy.
just better than Cloud9, and that's exactly
why do they
what we
keep
saw put on
saying
display.
that? The crowd
First two
gives them
maps were
buffs,
not close.
like-
Like,
Not at all.
I'm
And
saying.
yeah, sure, they drop
I
a
don't know.
Karachi control, and then the Rio Hardpoint was one of the best maps I think I've seen all
really?
year. I love the IGL call out of them at the end to go for that last 7 seconds on the P2. And honestly, I think this matchup that they have against FaZe is a win-win for them. It's either, you know, they win against FaZe again, or FaZe couldn't do it a chance. So they're chilling,
Fair
I think.
enough.
I think they're
I like
hanging
that
out.
call.
I think they want the win, though.
And you just look across the board, this was an even playing field. Everyone contributing, everyone getting some hill time in that final game 4. Is this the gameplay you want to see continue on a championship Sunday?
Absolutely, and I mean, we have to talk about Kenny. I mean, Dashy obviously had some very highlight plays yesterday to make sure Cloud9 didn't have an opportunity to crawl their way back in. Shotzi and Pred doing SMG things, but Kenny, once added to this roster, they got their first chip in years. Like, I don't think we talk about him and the impact he's had on this squad enough, but of course, the final key crush of the night in the orange jersey, it's gonna be Pred. And what about that weird smirk there at the end, Dan?
Here it is.
I mean, he's just downright evil. Like, who does that, man? And then waves the camera with another grin. Come on now.
I love Pred. They were rocking the EWC orange, and of course, we want to see what they're going to be wearing today. Is it the championship whites? Do they have a new jersey? We also want to see, can Kenny keep these numbers up? A 1.28 against the world championship opponent in Cloud9.
Insane.
That's a hell of a job done.
Follow-up question,
Not
is
gonna lie,
Kenny
that's
going to wear a
crazy.
bandana for Championship Sunday? What color is that one
He
going to be?
should,
That
he
fade
should.
was so clean.
Oh,
Oh,
imagine if he wears a
yeah,
bandana,
you
bro.
cover that up. You
Oh,
can't cover
man.
that up. There's been a lot of intense moments,
bring it up,
several
bro. Bring
game
it up.
fives on day 3, and we caught the best reactions. Let's take a look at your Pepsi top reactions.
Hey, yo, Beans was Beans was like on for one game and then off the rest of the match. The rest of the series. That's crazy. Oh yeah. Look at Hydra. FaZe got it so easy right now. Like before update, they had it so easy. It's funny. They played a challenges team.
There is the emotion poured out on the stage, the
They played a
elation, the
challenges team.
disappointment today. Two
You
more
serious
teams
right
are
now?
going out early, and we have to see how it's all shaping up in the bracket here. Optic Gaming, if they're able to win back-to-back tournaments at Worlds and now here at EWC, without a doubt, has had the hardest run.
Absolutely. They've been playing top teams throughout it. I mean, we look at this upper bracket. They had to beat Cloud9, it was a Champs Grand Finals rematch. And now they're going up against their Kryptonite in Atlanta FaZe, which has been a tough matchup for them, Matt.
I mean, people have won back-to-back majors. People have won a major into COD Champs. Who has won a COD Champs into the biggest international event of all time? Nobody. This would be an incredible feat for them. Truly one of a kind, and Optic, you know they want it.
And of course, on the bottom half of that bracket, it was Vancouver Surge winning their group, sending Cloud9 to the top half. They get rewarded after winning over Carolina Royal Ravens. They have to take on 100 Thieves, who bounced one of our big 4 in Toronto Ultra just one day ago. Here's a look at the schedule. Screenshot it because it's bright and early on the East Coast, 10 a.m. We, of course, are going to see Optic versus FaZe on the first battle. E-Classico, we call it nowadays. And Clay, let's start here with Atlanta FaZe. Everyone knows Optic, but no one has been singing the praise of Atlanta FaZe. Why? They haven't raised a trophy since Major 2.
Yeah, and a lot of people keep criticizing us for calling them one of the best teams in the game because they did bow out of champs early, but you can't count FaZe out. These guys on the other side, they're just so talented. They're so put together, and I think they're so well practiced. It's going to be a tough matchup for Optic.
Ali, for any of the newcomers coming over to Call of Duty,
It's gonna be a tough
please
matchup
break
for
down
Optic.
this trio on Atlanta FaZe
so
and their
stupid.
X Factor.
Yeah,
Curtis,
of
you
course,
funny,
Simp,
bro.
BZ, and Celium have been together
That
for
was hilarious.
years now. But on the other side, for Optic Gaming,
Dashing.
they had to kind of shift their roster because
No.
their main superstar in
Dashing and
Scout had
Shotzi has
retired, right? So
been
they bring in Kenny, they
together
bring
for like
in
4
Fred,
years as
and
well.
now this roster is winning championships. The issue, though, is this matchup is not the best for them on the year. 1-6 versus Atlanta FaZe. The last time they beat them was Major 3 months ago in an elimination final.
Ali, they are wearing those championship whites.
Championship
we
white.
don't see a bandana on Kenny yet.
Nope.
Maybe
I
it's
don't
gonna
know.
be
Nice,
up
man.
on stage.
But I
JP,
know
you
he's
gotta
gotten them headphones and
come
it's
on,
some A
come on,
boogie.
let's go,
Dashi
man.
is ready for today. If you know,
Hey.
you know. And to Ali's point, yes, Optic have struggled up against Atlanta FaZe. It's the one top team that has had their number 15-5 in the respawns. There's no game mode where Optic have had the edge up against Atlanta.
Clay, when you look at this Atlanta roster, who is going to be the biggest threat to Optic? Who can get in their way of back-to-back championships?
You got to talk about Abizi. He's the spearhead of FaZe, and he's the one that's going in first. He's popping those multi-kills. He's literally imposing his will on the enemy. I need to see a great series out of Abizi.
Have they not seen the
And for Atlanta
last
FaZe, this is everything,
games
right? They come
against
into this,
FaZe?
they're going up against Optic Gaming, a tale as old
I'm
as time,
confused,
and they
what?
know they have the edge. Like I said, 1-6 on the season, and Atlanta, they're undefeated right now
Okay.
when it comes to EWC. Sip and Cell
Alright.
personally love this matchup. They're both rocking a 1.12 and a 1.15, and as well for Atlanta, like, they come into the series, they have to play these guys all the time. So Atlanta, they're feeling confident. You look at the maps and modes. The only thing I have to say about this is I don't love that Optic gave Atlanta FaZe the invasion control. They're not only stronger in defense by 20%, but they're 21-5 on the season.
You know what it feels like with the numbers and all the stats stuff when you look at this matchup? In the offseason, when Atlanta FaZe, last year they got smoked by Optic all year long. And the approach to the offseason was, let's get Draza, let's play at a pace that Optic cannot keep up with. And you could see the attention to detail that they've had. Simp and Celium so much success in the respawns up against them, they'll need it once again.
Did you say 21-5 on map 3?
Yes.
This is ridiculous numbers. Way too consistent is Atlanta FaZe, but they haven't performed on a championship Sunday. We'll find out if they can do it, and we want to know, how do you see this one going down? Head on over to stcplay.gg and get your predictions in right now. Clayster, you were the Oracle yesterday. You called 100 Thieves. Who are you calling here to kick off our semifinal?
All during COD Champs, I voted against Optic. During this entire cup, I voted against Optic. I'm doing it again. We're going Atlanta FaZe, baby.
Ali, you got 5 seconds. What do you got?
If you asked me this morning, I would have said Optic, but after I took my notes, I'm going Atlanta FaZe. Or Killy Heel is gone.
Have y'all watched Call of Duty the last couple of weeks?
What are you saying?
Because I have, and Optic's got this. I'm sorry, they're winning.
Let's go to the Amazon stage.
At least Nameless has a brain, right? A little bit of a brain, at least. Like, damn. He said, have you guys watched Call of Duty in the last couple of weeks? I think it's winners. I'm sorry. I just got it. I mean, duh. Like, I mean, not duh, but like, it can go either way. We just gotta come out blazing, bro. We gotta come out guns blazing. If he let off a little bit, man, it's over, man. Quick announcement though, like real quick, if you guys do not have the post notifications turned on, that bell, if you don't have that shit on, you know what I'm saying, ringing, then you guys will not know when I upload, you know what I'm saying. Make sure you guys turn those shits on, right? Because I upload not a lot, but I'm gonna start. I've been busy, I'm sorry, but there's a lot of stuff in my mind that's gonna happen, that's gonna come out to the channel, both on Twitch and YouTube. So post notifications on, like the videos, subscribe, help me out, and I'll help you guys out. I'll support you guys with anything. You guys, y'all, help me out. Get me up there, man. I'm trying to hit 200 subscribers before the end of the year. Then after that, next year, 400. You know what I'm saying? But 200 this year. Let's get it. Come on. Let's get it out there. Come on. Ooh. He's wearing the same shoes. Draza, put your arm down.
Titans here once again to prove themselves the dominant force. It is your Classico. Teams, place your keys. One of these Titans will have a chance to place their key into the trophy, while the other have to see it crush and join the graveyards of the keys.
Two teams steeped in history, success, and legacy. On the one hand, we have the highest ranked team in the Pro League going up against the current world champions. Let's set this stage ablaze, boys. Let's do it.
The fuck? Why they fist pumping this shit, man?
Welcome back to Riyadh, and there is no match more fitting of Modern Warfare 3 event than Optic taking on FaZe. My whole chip with me, of course, I've got my man Jay Stud. The champs whites are out.
They got the championship white jerseys with the wingstop on the right shoulder.
hasn't dropped a map
Come on,
yet.
come on, come on.
FaZe are undefeated, but you heard
But
the Death's touch
they
on it. It's
played
basically been a
against bots.
fairly easy road for them. You get taken care of. I mean, you take care of the 100 Thieves players, clean 3-0. Then you wake up yesterday, you got to spawn up against Boston Breach. You have Celium doing whatever he wants, clutching 1v3s, a clean 3-0. So they have a flawless map count at EWC, sitting at 9-0. But this is going to be their first true test.
And the thing about it, and you can see it in the pregame stats, in terms of how this matchup has gone in this year, and also, by the way, last year, it has been dominated by FaZe. Thing is, last time they met, that was not the case. Optic found their first major win, and that may have sparked the run that they've gone on the last couple of months.
Oh yeah, because that was all the way back at Major 3. They were able to take them down in the elimination final. So when you get to that series, finally getting over that hump, because it was Atlanta FaZe in 6 straight series, they were getting better, getting the better of the green wall. But now, once you get over that hump, you were able to walk away with that championship there. So now you stand in front of them again. Can you make it a repeat?
Without question. And I think the thing about it was there were questions about this Optic team, not about how long was that run going to be, but on top of that, would they find the same energy in a neutral environment where there isn't as much of a crowd as we saw at Champs? And so far, I think they've not just met, but they've surpassed the eye test in terms of them being calibered, ready for another championship.
Without question, man. You got tested yesterday. You go up against a team that you faced all the way in the grind finals at COD Champs. In
The
Cloud9,
grind finals?
you took care of them
Grind
with
finals?
ease. So Optic game, they are looking phenomenal so far at EWC.
Come on, let's get it,
There's
man.
nothing better than potentially being the first team to ever do something. Here at the first time at Esports World Cup, you want to be the team to be the first one to walk away with that championship.
Well, inject this immediately into my veins. I think for some of you out there in the Western world, that's going to be right next to the IV that's pumping coffee into it. So why not? Let a little bit of fuel. Get on in.
Nothing is granted. Everything is earned.
We're going to have a Karachi hard point as well. We're not starting slow here, friends. We're going to jump right on into the action and see how hot these teams really are.
And this is going to be mixy, man. Obviously, Atlanta FaZe, they came in with the game plan. They said, we're getting rid of 6-star everything. You're not going to get a bread and butter hard point for you. And the mind games that they played for that map number 4 in sub-base is definitely going to catch.
Here we go, man. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Let's get it.
Into the map number 1, Karachi hard point. Let's get it on.
Let's get it on, brother. It's going to be Optic and, of course, the green. FaZe in their natural white as Abizi over the top of the rubble. Not able to find the first contact. Good high ground control early for Optic, leading to some very early time.
Yeah, a lot of pressure, a lot of aggression through the middle of the map. They find the initial couple of kills, so they're still soaking up this time. You have control of top 3. The rest of the players from Atlanta FaZe realizing we have to apply this pressure here, but Optic Gaming effective on the trade, soaking up that hill time again.
And you've already got Pred hitting a bit of a route over through and
Yo, I'm not gonna lie
around
to
the
you
middle
guys.
of the map.
I'm gonna be
now putting some focus for FaZe.
trying
They
to
have worry
talk.
about the scrap and win the
I'm
rotation
trying to
to
talk,
new.
man.
And Pred
But
has
at the
gone
same time, I
completely
don't know. I'm
unguarded.
gonna talk,
Sim
bro, 'cause
completely
this is gonna
surprised on the
be-
top of the jump wall. Pred just being a menace to the
Oh, this
backside of the
game.
spawns for FaZe while they
Oh,
still
watch
earn
out,
every single
Pred.
second on one.
And that's going to be 2 players from Atlanta
Here you
FaZe
go.
already spawning
What the
across the
standing
map,
up there,
so
bro? What
that
the
would be
hell?
easy. The last man standing in towards the cafeteria. He is going to
Can't help
fall, and that is a
Dashy.
flawless start to this hard point.
One.
You're able to get 31
you
seconds
can't
at the
drop no
P1. You
kills,
win the
dude.
rotation over towards new. Now you
Come
can
on.
continuously run up that score.
Well, now you've got an opportunity for Optic to just be very comfortable as well in front, especially with Kenny finding the first
I like
kill.
it.
Shotzi in the corner.
I like it.
Not
He ain't getting
stunned
stunned.
by that.
I like it.
I mean, that
I
is
like
making
it.
direct eye contact with the stun grenade and just ego challenging, saying, stun me if you want to.
Chachi just know all the spots, man.
Oh,
all
man.
the cheese spots. He's taking advantage of it.
They got
And Atlanta
0?
FaZe have yet to even spawn in. 0 points still to
The
their name.
fuck?
They cannot get close towards this P2. They are trading back and forth.
Uh-oh.
And unfortunately, we are still in the game. I don't know.
It looks like the players are still in. It may just be our initial codcaster. So hopefully we get a perspective swap to where we can keep on board with it. Because at the moment, Optic are up big. And here we go. Right back into it. 68 plays 0. FaZe from the front. Able to find a little bit of success here on this late break. But more importantly, they do have the rotation to do.
Yeah, they have
I
the
was
rotation
about
to do,
to
and at least you have
say.
one player still contesting at this old hard point. Abizi making it very difficult for them to even work their way over towards that red side. But you take
got
care of
P3.
him, and now Atlanta FaZe down by a majority of this time. You need a full 60 here to get yourself back in the game.
And we've seen this before. This
Good
is kind of
shots,
what Ultra was
Kenny.
dealing with on Subbase yesterday, where they were down like 80-0 and then got a full 60. So for FaZe fans, let's keep our heads on straight, or maybe not, as Shotzi and Dashy from the front just essentially walk on into individual gunfights, winning them both, and now Optic are in the hill.
And this is what Optic did yesterday tremendously versus Cloud9, instantly finding those breaks on their first attempt. Atlanta FaZe's setup was not too strong, and it seems like they are not ready for this day. Optic Gaming, they are just swinging on all cylinders.
Everyone's sitting positive, nearly double positive actually for just about everybody, as the crowd here in Riyadh starts to light up the comms here in the venue. And a very familiar chant starts to take over. I'm sure FaZe fans all over not happy to hear that.
Oh my
early on,
God.
as Optic
What is the score?
6 seconds or so for FaZe to get on P3.
Yeah, Atlanta FaZe, they tend to struggle on championship Sundays, and this is not the way you want to start versus the world champs. Now you're forced to make up a lot of this time at P4, which is not going to be very successful because we know this hill is all about the contest, trying to keep them off as much as you possibly can.
You have to feel like if you're FaZe, we need to get 20 seconds plus here just to try to get something going. Not an easy premise to start to build, but at the moment, FaZe are at least finding some success holding around the front side of the hard point. Question marks on where Shotzi has gone. The double chow from the front is really just a 1v2. Draza didn't have any support at all because everyone's so worried on where Shotzi's gone.
Seems like right now Atlanta FaZe are playing a little bit scared. Everybody's sitting on pre-aims and Optic Gaming are flying entirely around the map. They find the initial 2 kills. But something is happening.
No.
Yeah, I was gonna say, in the player cams, every time we were swapping to a FaZe member, it looked like there was at least someone turning around trying to talk to one of the refs. So Optic are still locked in and going, but FaZe have apparently had some issues. So we'll see how things unfold. You can see that Optic is still playing this one through at the moment, but one of the FaZe members on the side looks like Draza is already out of the picture, and there are questions, I think, about Abizi, because that was the one I saw his perspective. He was looking behind talking to the ref while they're in the middle of that P4.
Yeah, obviously in a 3v4 scenario, you're not going to find a lot of success if you are Atlanta, but that's got to be a tough pill to swallow right there if you are Optic. You came out of the gates ready to rock and roll. You were dominating around that mid P1, successful rotation over towards P2, and then an instant break on P3. We eventually would figure out what the hell happened, but yeah, that's got to be tough.
Yeah, it definitely felt like there was something off about how that map started. Not just saying because the score was so lopsided, but like I said, looking at the player cams, it did look like there were a couple of FaZe members that were trying to grab the attention of the refs. So we are hearing from production that there will be a full reset here in map number 1. It looks like Pred's not particularly pleased about that, but I think the thing about it is, you know, obviously there's been a lot of conversation around the topic over the last 48 hours, is you can't let that mentally stir if you're sitting on the stage right now. You just got to be like, hey, we're beating the heck out of these guys. Let's just keep doing it.
Yeah, you just came out fired, have that same exact mentality. Keep that energy up. Obviously, the restart is not
This might be the worst
want to make sure the game
event
is in the fair play
in car
territory.
history. Yeah. If we lose this map 1,
we'll be ready to rock and roll in that map number 1, but take a look at the numbers between both the ARs on the side of Atlanta FaZe. So far throughout this weekend, Celium is sitting at the number 1 overall KD at EWC. This is specifically about their hardpoint game. 1.34 for both of your ARs. They are shutting down those lanes single-handedly.
Well, when we were sitting here just on the desk prepping up, you even pointed out that it's not just the fact that Celium's pulling the top KD. He's actually finding some of the most overall engagements for his squad. So it's not just him holding down a lane, finding hardpoint time, and winning 1v1s. He's getting in the mix and succeeding there as well.
It's because after the performance at Champs, getting a top 6, everybody's looking like, what the hell is going on with this FaZe roster? And when you're looking at Celium, he tends to play a little bit slow at times. It looks like he took all that criticism. He came into this ESWC tournament with a different mindset, and he has more kills than Draza, 12 less kills than Abizi, and you know how fast Abizi plays.
Yeah, I mean, you can kind of even see it here just looking at the ARs overall. Their kills per 10 minute is actually up there with a lot of the SMGs. So they're finding the engagements and they're coming out on top more often than not. And a 1.34 for both of them is unreal to think about, especially considering that, you know, later down the road in this series, we will see probably a sub-base hardpoint. So you're looking at both those 2 ARs to take control there in particular.
Yeah, and the sub-base hardpoint is what I had circled when we got the maps and modes in, because you weren't really seeing Atlanta FaZe all throughout the season play sub-base. They played it in the beginning of the year. They were awful at the map, so they decided to be like, okay, this is going to be our auto veto, but then you put in practice towards the very end of the year to prepare yourself for moments like this. Optic are sitting at a 13-2 record on that map.
Yeah.
You weren't expecting Atlanta FaZe to actually pick sub-base in map number 4, so obviously they got something stirring in the pot.
And that's the thing is, like, we're long gone away from the conversations of FaZe are playing sub-base to work on their map pool.
Yeah, I mean, last day.
But the thing about it was, and I think
oh
the desk
my
had brought
God,
this
that
up at
shit
one
is
point in time.
annoying,
We
bro.
started to see sub-base here this weekend. Was this was a
Like,
map that
what,
FaZe has
bro?
looked good on in the coming months before we got to Major 4.
They
and
did
of course,
something behind the
Champs.
scenes, dude.
It just felt
Well, they
like,
did
okay,
something,
this is something you
like,
can put into
during
the
the
arsenal.
game.
It does
Oh, stop
feel
it,
a
we're getting
little
our
odd
asses
to
kicked.
pull it
Fuck
out
outta
here
here,
versus
man.
Optic, but like you said, they've got to have something on the cooker here.
And I think the game plan was to not allow the SMGs to start roaming around the way that Optic love to do. You then to lose track of Shotzi. Same thing could be said with Pred. We even saw it early on before that map number 1 restart, that Pred was getting behind enemy lines, finding a couple easy kills, and that's why you want to play those bigger AR maps.
Yeah.
So you can dominate those power positions and then account for everyone.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I mean, we heard about the conversation of we want to put teams on X map or Y map to avoid their SMG line, force them to play ARs, and now all of a sudden it feels like you've got FaZe essentially considering the same respect territory here, especially looking at the entirety of this map set, because a high-rise search, an invasion control, another sub-base hardpoint, and then an invasion surge. So it's like wide open, long AR dominant map. It looks like they're trying to really unfold what we've already seen in the stats, which is Cell and Draza having good performances this weekend.
And that was the discussion of why you brought Draza into this lineup, because all of last season, Optic were destroying Atlanta every single time that they matched up. So they pick up a player like Draza to keep up with that pace. And ever since then, it's 6-1 this year in favor of Atlanta FaZe, dominating in the respawns, 9-4 overall in the hard points, 6-1 in the controls. The S&Ds could be up in the air, sitting at 6-4 overall. But Atlanta FaZe now, this season, have had their number.
Yeah.
This shit is insane,
But this is going to feel like a very different series compared to the ones we'd seen previously.
Because they're world champions.
Well, there's
they're coming in with that delusional confidence, like, we are the best. You guys got to take us down.
Well, I think the thing on top of that is there's no 6-star. There's no Vista. There's no Rio. I mean, those were some of the most played maps, depending on what mode you want to look at, between these two teams all year long. So this feels like a very fresh take in terms of how they want to square up today.
Yeah, if you talk about the S&Ds that they played all season, this basically been high-rise and invasion in every single series. One time was a slip-up where they throw in a Rio, but they're going right back to the bread and butters. They have played each other multiple times on all of these maps.
Yeah.
Just who's going to perform better on the day.
Yeah, it's
Bro,
gonna be
just
fun
stop the
one,
map
really
one already, man. I want to hear all this
Looks like we are
bullshit y'all
voting
talking
back
about,
in.
man. Crazy.
Yep, and that's it. Here we go. Let's just get the fresh restart. Hopefully there are no more connection issues so we can just get the full value of these two teams duking it out with one another. Similar routes for both squads. Draza able to find the opener, but again, Optic holds control of top third, and that's enough for them to clean up the following 3 kills.
Yeah, restart ain't gonna change nothing. Optic Gaming able to find every single kill. Last player alive is gonna be Celium, but just gonna put down a couple shots, try to open up an avenue of attack for his teammates to apply pressure on it. But it's
Gotta kill fire. Oh, good shot, Sean. You gotta kill fire though. Nice, Dash.
Well, keeps the hard point neutral.
That's easy kill.
This top
Get him
third
out of there.
position. Oh mercy! You put
Get him out of
Draza
there.
or Dashy up here.
Yeah, get him out of
you
there.
assume
Good shit,
will
get him out of
dominate,
there.
and that has been the
Yeah.
case for Dashy off to a
Rotate,
4-0 start and now working on rotation.
Yeah, now with only 10
Oh,
seconds left,
we
Atlanta
already
are forced to
we're on
cut their
that?
losses.
No, we're not.
Set up off that rotation
Fuck,
over towards
man.
Red. There's a lot
See,
of
this is
room for
some
Optic
BS, bro. Wait.
that front side. They're able to take care of Shotzi. Kenny's able to
Hey,
find that
man,
trade, but
oh
Dashy on 5 in a row. Can he earn an early cruise?
Wow, clean shots over to the back bar, heady onto Celium. Sim
Doesn't
finds
even
the
matter.
trade, but it comes at the cost of the
Doesn't
Christmas
even
and
matter.
the rotation being lost.
Doesn't even matter.
P2 opens on up.
That's what I'm talking about. Come on.
Holding the MCW, looking to see if he can control this back jump ball, but the rest of FaZe through mid-map, starting to come back on through.
Shot.
Simple drop. Shotzi also finds one at a
Shots.
Draza, and
Watch.
there is no
Take
break
it,
here
take
for
it, take it,
FaZe.
take it, take it, take
And this
it,
is
take it,
basically the
take
same
it,
exact
take
thing
it.
before the
Nice.
restart. Optic Gaming just
Look
coming
at the
out
map,
swinging
they're
this
always
time with a
finding
cruise missile to their name. Pred
2-1.
was 4-0. He's already 4-0 again, making
Oh
it
my
5 on to
God.
Sim.
One
He's
more,
ready
one
for
more.
the
I
pressure
made it
through the
cruise,
back
made it
alley,
cruise.
and with
Come on.
only 30 seconds left,
Take
Atlanta
your life,
forced to
take
hit this
your life.
rotation. You cannot
Yes.
commit for this junk time here.
We can
Let him push,
argue
let him push.
that
Watch
this
top up,
second
top up.
reset is actually better for Optic than it was the first time. They get essentially a full 60 on P2, and they've got members over towards 3, so no requirement for the break,
Yes.
and there are no kills to speak of anywhere for FaZe. 1 and 5,
If they restart one more
1
time,
and 6,
then
and 1 and 4
you already know
for
something
BZ
like that.
Draws and
Something's up.
Cell.
So now we're up by 60
Something's up for
points.
sure
We have
if they
2
restart
cruise
again.
missiles this time around to go with it, and we were in the rotation over towards P3, so the score line might be the same exact thing. As now Optic Gaming
it's the
continuously
same,
running
yeah.
it up. You are forcing
fine.
Atlanta
Good
FaZe
shit.
to work their way through Coop.
Good shot.
Celium trying to challenge
Good shots.
the map,
Boost.
but Dashy shooting like that. The team shots coming in. Optic are just
That
dominating.
shit is
This
10
does
and
not
2.
look like your normal FaZe versus Optic matchup. Absolute domination from Optic
No way you
Gaming.
get that
Pistol
kill. I
out
was
for
about to say.
Dashy. Not going to be able to find the last shot needed to take down Cell, but it's 85 to flippin' 7. And FaZe are still struggling to break on through for any time.
You just can't get in. They're attacking from one single angle, and Optic Gaming know where the pressure's coming in. They are trading more effectively. That's a 2-for-1 there in that scenario. And now with only 15 seconds left with the lead that you have, if you can keep them off, even better, because your teammates are already thinking about that new rotation.
Well, there will be a little bit of scrap time here for Atlanta, but again, you look towards the macro side of what's happening on the map, and Optic, once again, controlling the high ground, surrounding the new hill. I mean, this has been legitimately the most beautiful Karachi hardpoint we've ever seen. And go figure, it's Optic versus FaZe in World Championship form.
That's insane because this is a strong map for Atlanta FaZe. They have a 14-4 overall record here. Usually don't get caught slipping because Optic Gaming do not prefer to play a map like Karachi. But to start off, you already got 2 cruise missiles. Atlanta FaZe now trying to soak up time here at P4, but it's not going to be successful as Optic are able to find another 3, almost 4 in the feed.
I mean, what do you talk about here? I mean, legitimately, this is just a mismatch. Cell from the back, try to deal with the trophy system and the rest of the Optic members in the hardpoint, but there's just no good fights to take. It is another 3-for-1 feed. I mean, we can't even break this down. This is just sit back, relax, and watch Optic dominate.
And now Optic Gaming are going to walk away with that final 20 seconds. And keep in mind, they still got 2 cruise missiles to work with. So if you are Atlanta FaZe, you hit that early rotation. You're going to need this time here at P5 to get yourself back into the game. But this is where you're going to see Optic manipulate around that mini-map.
Yep.
SMGs hit certain routes to spawn those players all the way across the map. Then here comes the cruise.
Perfect. They take out Cell over towards that front side of red. This should deal with the player inside the point, so open it goes. And again, look at the crossing angle from Fred. He's able to stop the reinforcements from finding a way back into the hill. That is absolutely perfect.
Oh my
Only one player
God,
drops,
dude,
and Optic again
what
find a
is
quick
going
break.
on?
It does not get any better than this
I'm
for the
going
green wall.
crazy.
Mentality that they
I'm
have
sorry.
had so far in this map, number 1, has been stellar.
Oh my
Now
God.
Atlanta are able to work their way
That's
through the
tries to
front
put
with
out
a
the
couple
AR?
kills.
Yeah.
25 seconds still to fight for here. Optic Gaming going to spawn all the way across the map, but you still got players like Shotzi, and a team kill from Abizi will help.
I mean, it's just legitimately everything going the way of Optic Gaming. A moment here for Abizi, trying to keep the hard point neutral. Pred right through mid, trying to cut that off as the scrap time will be fully captured by Optic Gaming. And again, because you've got Simp trying to play for the exit, you don't even have a setup here for FaZe. This does not look like the same FaZe team we saw all weekend.
Yeah, they did not wake up yet. Remember, they were not actually tested so far this weekend versus the top 4 team that we had throughout the entire season. Their best win was versus 100 Thieves, and they took care of them with ease, but this is a different kind of animal in Optic Gaming. They're already up by 100 points. They're soaking up this P one time again. This time Sip is trying to hold down that top 3 positioning, but as soon as he finds one, the
Oh
train
my
goes in.
God. Oh my God. Oh my God. What the fuck?
Let Bruce stay on a high ground position like that. He's just not going to miss.
Oh my
21 and 7,
God.
kill number 22.
Another one? Oh my God.
Are we kidding? What are we talking about? 166 to 38, and it's not getting any better for FaZe.
Yeah, this ain't even close. Like, I don't know if Atlanta FaZe got their monitors on or something. Guns are not working. The teamwork is obviously not there, and Optic Gaming are continuously just running away with this game as they're going to put themselves in a position off the rotation over towards new. Now they still have 2 cruise missiles to work with just in case Atlanta find a little bit of success in that slaying department, but
2 tickets, 2
reaching that
tickets, 2 tickets, 2
180 point
tickets.
mark and they continue going up.
Oh no, Dasher.
This is wild. I mean, you're dealing with, again, we saw the head-to-head stats. FaZe had
Nice.
Draza and selling
Good
at
stun.
1.34
Good
KD.
stun. Good
They're
nade.
combining for
That's fine.
16 and 30
People
right
there.
now, but FaZe desperately need a
Trade,
lifeline
man.
as we jump into an Atlanta FaZe listening to see if they can spark one up.
Okay, I'm trying to cross. Team Alley. Yo, what's up, out of me? I'm Alley right now. He moved over. Kenny top side on me. Or top side. Alley dead. Kenny top side. Kenny top side. Out of play. Side dead. Hop now. Hop. Kenny top side. Hop weak. He's been flat. Bring the shit back. I'm sorry, BG. Bring the shit back. Back to her cross. Yeah. I'm trying to get left control. They can get past me left, okay? They can get past me left. Side door. I'm playing third. They can be tools. Okay. Listen, I have to get time though. Side door. And left. I got you on it. Once Archer's going red. Archer's going low red to 10. Nice. Good job. Let's go, boys. Come on. Nico, let's go. Weak. One shot. He's going to scatter. I hear you. Yo, we can break him down right fucking here, right? Everyone guarantee one. I don't have a trophy, bro. I'm pitching him. I said, listen, I'm playing deep. What's top red on me? He's streak. Try to get to time, bro.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
One's middle, mid lane, Ken. And what's top red? One's pitching top red. Yeah, answer red.
How many?
That's on red. Answer red somewhere, okay? Taking it around, Tyler. He's barrel spot. In the back. He's back pitch your back door. Back door. Hey, listen, nice. I'm coming in. Hey, I get you. Yo, he's 10 still. He's still just spawn killing. Second. Hey, 1 second as well. Listen, top you're by yourself. Yeah, you're by yourself. Nice. Where's your Chris? I'm trying to keep this white. That's a good time. Hey, getting in the back, 1 shot, and on time.
I'm pitching Coop.
Third. Hey, we went to the back. I spawn bridge. AG 1 shot on time. I spawn bridge. AG in the hallway.
Anti-Dark Chris.
Get on me. Nice, good one. AG? And CB's behind the hill, last guy, behind the hill. I'm getting shots,
Legitimately, Jay, I think the biggest takeaway I just had right there is the constant comms of someone's still spawn killing, someone's still spawn killing. No one's winning their ones anywhere on the map for FaZe.
Yeah, and I don't hear any energy on the side of Atlanta FaZe. Obviously, we're down by almost
Draza
200 points.
11 and 20.
A good time. And Optic Gaming continuously just running away with this map number 1. Atlanta FaZe have a tall ladder to climb if they want to get themselves back into this game, but still, the kill feed lighting up green. Finally, Selim and Sip are able to catch a couple, but it's still Optic soaking up that time.
Yeah, I mean, we're dealing with 220 to 70. So, I mean, trying to paint a silver linings, but I don't even think Bob Ross has that shade of silver in his palette. It's just dark clouds all around this FaZe opening Karachi hardpoint. Moment of recovery here as Optic are going to default for playing for rotation, so they're going to get another 20 of scrap unless Shotzi clears this out himself. But as he does drop, now a chance for FaZe to work on rotation.
Yeah, FaZe got to work, and they got to work quickly. And keep in mind, Optic still have a cruise missile in their back pocket. They only need 31 seconds to close out this map number 1. Not finding a couple kills off the rotation, so Atlanta giving themselves an opportunity, but you see those close spawns still in the back for Optic, and now you have a free pinch from Shotzi.
Actually good for the opener, not going to get the second, but lots of damage tallied, means that Kenny can get his trade, and then the turn back around, gets the read on Cell's pinch, and this is how the game likely comes to an end. And look how Optic are spawning FaZe so far across the map, they've got every bit of contest they could possibly need.
I'd never seen this.
Yeah, this is not good if you are Atlanta FaZe, not the way you want to start
never
your
seen
championship
this.
Sunday, and here's when you let all the streets start to rain. Give the call out to your teammates, realize where the pressure is coming from, everybody to iron up, final 5 seconds.
And it's going to have to be onto a BZ. 1v1, not one. I mean, that's it. Just single-handedly speaking, individual 1v1s were dominated by the green wall.
And you were talking about the mentality of the restart. If it was going to play an effect on the way Optic are going to come out playing, they said, no, we're going to do it this time a little bit better. They earn early cruise missiles. They find early breaks. They're winning a majority of those rotations. And Atlanta FaZe simply were not ready for that map number 1. That's all it came down to. Everything that Optic Gaming did there worked out to perfection. That's probably the best we've ever seen Karachi hardpoint be played.
250 to 92.
Of course, the macro of how the team's moving on the map is perfect.
250.
The space they're creating in front of
Look
hills,
at me.
beautiful. I mean, I don't
250.
know. Loss, Jay.
92.
El Clasico on a championship Sunday, and Optic just put FaZe in the 100 freaking point club.
250.
To be honest, for me, out of Dashy, because when you usually look at Dashy's stat lines, he's sitting around 15 and 15, soaking up a majority of the hill, the best objective play that we have on the season. But the fact that he goes 7-0 to start the game, you know Pred is matching his energy. He also finds a cruise. Both of those young men dropped 28 kills, 22 non-traded kills. No one even had to breach 5K damage because you were spawning Atlanta FaZe all the way across the map. You were barely getting into these gunfights that actually matter. Optic Gaming punch Atlanta right in the mouth in map number 1.
Wow. Well, Optic getting absolutely fiery after map number 1, but this is just map number 1. We've seen this series
I don't know
go
what
a
to
long
say.
way, and
We
I think
need.
the composure is
I
definitely
need.
something
Okay,
that
come
both
on.
teams will have to make sure
That's
they
a
keep in the back of their mind, because
insane
this one
first
gets
game.
sweaty quick.
But
to start,
number
anything
2,
but for Optic, I mean, it's legitimately
come
perfect
off
hard
with the
point.
same energy,
Everything
bro.
felt
Come
good.
on.
The way they
For
used
ease.
cruise missiles was
What
perfectly
is it? Search and
efficient.
destroy or
Everything
control?
just came out in favor of the green wall, and
It was
that's a heck of a
control.
way to get some momentum going for map
No,
2.
search and
When
destroy.
the
I
hell
think
have
it's
we
search
ever
and
seen Atlanta FaZe get a 100-point club in a hard point?
I don't
never
know.
seen
I need
this.
to go back and look at that because I don't think it's ever happened. Optic Gaming just came out and just did everything that they wanted. We're challenging gunfights. We're setting up crossfire. We're finding the more effective trades. And even though Sip was able to find a couple kills here and there, it don't matter. The green wall got more players on the right side of the map. And they just absolutely put the beat down on Atlanta in that map number 1. Now can you continue that into a high-rise search and destroy where we have watched Optic Gaming play it this weekend. They played it versus Carolina, and they ended up losing it all the way in around 11. But I think my main focus, if you are Optic Gaming, when you have that objective control, we have to work this bomb down, because when you give Atlanta a lot of time around the map, that's when they take the map away from you and throw a whole lot of different looks at you.
Jay, I'm just looking over the course of some of the stats that I have in front of me, and looking at the history, outside of sub-base, there are only 3 times that Atlanta FaZe have not accrued more than 200 points.
That's insane, man.
The lowest amount they got was a 128 to 250 versus Toronto on sub-base, and that was back during Major 1. So this isn't just a
Wow.
beatdown. This is an embarrassment considering that there's only been 3 other times outside of sub-base that they haven't gotten past the 200-point mark, let alone the 100-point club. I know my boy Turtle's already looking through all of his notes
Oh
to figure
my
out the last time
God,
FaZe got
250 to 92.
Take a look at the
These
maps and modes. Obviously, the
optic
high
boards
rise
are
search and
playing
destroy coming
like
up
I've
next,
never
but
seen. If I saw the mini map,
they usually don't
bro,
find a lot of success versus
one
this Atlanta
is
roster
like on
in
that
hard
P5.
points.
One
When
was
you
like
come out like that, you
was
got to
it
carry
P5?
that momentum into the search and
Or
destroy. Continue to
P2.
play
I think it was
confident,
P2
but
or
also
P5, one of
make
those
sure you're
two.
playing super smart.
But one
Because
was
Atlanta FaZe, they can take advantage, especially in this map mode.
Absolutely the case.
one
But
was
again,
top
last time
third,
these two teams
one
have
was
played, this
top
map was in
red,
the
looking
pool,
at
and it was an
Junkyard.
optic win
Like,
6-3.
what the
So
hell?
we'll see if that history
Oh
has
my
anything left for
God.
us to possibly dig
Oh,
further
high-rise
into.
search and
But
destroy.
I think you're absolutely right to point out the objective
All right.
focus. It's been criticized. It's been a byproduct of that long S&D
we
losing streak
lost the
that they
last
were
time we
on
played this
in
against them.
Major 4 quals, but that
We'll see
seems to
though.
have been
Shotzi has to
mostly
go.
corrected as we jump into round number 1.
Ooh,
Optic on the attack.
Look at how aggressive Shotzi is getting. Gonna put himself in this angle that he
Yeah,
found a lot of
they're
success
really
at
not,
the
they're really
last
not.
tournament, but FaZe do their
See what
homework.
they
They
press, see what
strike for
they
the
press,
first
see
2,
what
and
they
now
press.
it's Pred.
Oh
And
wow,
his
what a
teammate
bitch.
Dashy left to
Ooh.
clutch on up.
Surely Pred doesn't get out of here by himself alone. And we'll just see. Oh, what did I say? There we go. So the BC's on a crossing angle, and he will
That's fine.
eventually finalize the kill, leaving it now just down to Dashy for a 1v3. Bomb is close by, but it is in the underground, which is not going to be easy for Dashy to collect, especially for FaZe's position.
He's gonna check the right corner though for at least the first kill onto BZ. Also able to walk away with his life. One of the most clutch players that we had on the season. Now in the 1v2 with 35 seconds to go. With that bomb being down towards bottom pit, he's trying to get early info of where the hell the rest of the Atlanta FaZe players are so he can try to make that play.
He has some idea where Draza is positioned because there were a couple of shots from Draza over towards these A windows. And now the follow-up tags will also alert him that there's someone nearby, but he does not expect Cell to be up top on the helipad. So no crazy antics in round number 1. Quick opening first bloods for FaZe. I think a lot of that is just doing your homework and knowing that shots is going to hit that route to the top side of that wall almost every single offense.
Yeah, and they put basically all their reinforcements over towards B Street. They're realizing, okay, Optic like to work on this side of the map. Shotzi's going to work his way through bottom pit. So let's just 3-stack it on this side of the
Just
map.
try to not
They find the
be,
initial 2 kills.
try to
With Fred
conserve
running
your,
that trade,
you know,
it turns into a 1v3.
your
be very
operator.
difficult
Don't
to
just
try
show
to
you
clutch
so
that
far on the
scenario
map,
versus the
Shotzi.
squad.
Come
Keep
on,
in mind,
man.
when Shotzi was
Play
hitting
smart,
that
play
route
smart,
at Champs
smart.
at Major 4, it was with a smoke in hand.
Yeah.
Doesn't have that this time. So that position may not be as abused as we saw Optic use.
Oh, there's no smoke in
previous
this search.
events.
Okay.
Abizi, quick routes. However, does he expect that Shotzi's playing in a bit of a peculiar spot of his own? Meanwhile, action, long range to the middle of the map. Cell is able to find first blood at a Kenny window to window.
Yeah, Beezy was able to spot Shotzi on the drop down, but Kenny was watching over him. That's what forces Abizi to hit the retreat. But now in the man disadvantage, Shotzi also with a rival 9 in hand. You really love an MCW in this position, but he's going to try to make a play happen, and Abizi playing patient gets the better of him.
That's another good homework moment. We saw Shotzi use that same route every single defense, it felt like, over the course of the weekend. And maybe a little bit of information gained by Beezy, but good patience regardless. Leaves Pred completely by himself, finding the first off the window.
Get out!
And he's got help nearby. That's maybe an opportunity for Dashy to keep him up, but not going to happen. Leaves Pred now have to work the 1v2 and possible ace.
He spots Draza. So can he get the info as well onto Celium? He's going to be able to recover that bomb. Gets the free. He's going to turn this into a 1v1.
Cell, the other side of it. Looking to take away space. Pred,
Oh my God.
and the 1v2 ace
Oh
comes
my
out for
God.
Pred. What a moment.
Oh my
1v2
God.
ace, a
bro.
2v4 clutch, or basically a 1v4 clutch because Pred gets it done by himself.
Come on, man.
Miraculously pulls out that 2-piece in towards the site, jumps down through bottom pit, and at that point I was thinking Celium or Draza have to know that he's around that area. You could not allow him to lose
Got
track.
shit on in the elevator, bro.
once he's
The
able to
elevator
find
guy
that
got
free
shit on.
bounce
Who
to
was
Draza,
that?
you're
Draza?
thinking if
You're
you're
done,
Celium,
bro.
okay, he's
Oh
gonna be
my
trying to hit some kind of route, but the
Come on.
patience is key. Optic Gaming in the clutch,
Ooh.
more specifically Pred on 5 in a row now.
Massive.
4.
4. Greenwall knows no international borders or boundaries. Draza, I believe, did get stunned over towards B elevators. He's slow and laboriously making his way to safety. And yep, Shotzi trying to find the up and over. Does get pushed off, and then in the same moment, Pred drops on the other side of the map. So now it's just down to what Shotzi could find. Forcing the action through, and Draza's right there to meet him. Numbers advantage for FaZe.
Kenny and Dashy's now. Their opportunity to clutch on up. Kenny finds that kill onto Sim, instantly going to turn it into a 2v2. You have a lot of this B side control. This is where Dashy's gaining that info, and you probably want to work this objective.
Well, shots are still coming out of Dashy. Kenny looking to work around the middle of the map. I don't know if Dashy has seen Bull. That's the question. Looks like he's given enough space to allow Kenny to jump on for the plant. Shots exchanged between Abizi and Dashy. Draza watching for the exit, clean. Now it's just down to 1, and Dashy's already isolated, so now it's just to a 1v1 situation. Dashy versus Draza, another AR-v-AR battle, and Draza the opening peak, clean shots on the corner, and enough for Draza to clutch things up with him finding 3 in the round.
Yeah, that was beautifully played right there out of Draza in the 2v2 scenario. He realized that he was able to spot Kenny sitting through underground on that cross over towards the site. You knew that Dashy was sitting at the top of her paint, so they had to work in this bomb plant. And catches the timing, pushing up through bottom pit for that first kill. And then in the 1v1, the YY out of Dashy gets him out of the pre-aim, and Draza was ready for that gunfight. Atlanta, 2-1.
Big regain after the 1v2 ace. I think that's just, again, mentally, it puts you right back into the driving seat. First blood battle has been representative of the score. 2 for FaZe, 1 for Optic. Nades aggressively for FaZe, going over towards the A windows. Draza's going to take an early peek up towards Helipad, but then back off as Abizi will take his spot. And this will all be about trying to see if they can catch any intel over towards the A side of the map initially, and Shotzi will be able to kind of exchange a little bit of a battle with Draza early.
Yeah, you see the way that Optic Gaming are playing this. With Dashy watching from his spawn, that B Street. Fred watching the underground, and the rest of the players from Optic Gaming watching over towards his bottom blue, because early frags were invested from Atlanta FaZe on this side of the map, so it's potentially where the push is going to come in.
Follow-up nades coming out of Optic, just making sure no one's playing inside of blue. Shotzi continues to play off this angle. Draza down low, tough fight. Shots are decent though from Shotzi, just can't quite finish the kill, and that's just an aggressive game of tag as both teams reset 4v4 with Abizi now making a move.
Oh, and Abizi's ready for this first fight onto Pred. Finds that first blood, the first blood king. Now in the man advantage for Atlanta FaZe. You gotta start thinking about that bomb play, but Shotzi's here to contest it from top heli.
He's got a lot to worry about though. He knows he's got FaZe members over towards the staircase. Kenny trying to follow up behind, not gonna work out. Exchange is good for FaZe. Dashy now by himself. This would be a 1v3. First 2 shots, whoa, super clean. Bomb though, gonna be planted. Does he get an angle at any of these FaZe defenders? More damage, but not enough to confirm any kills. And everything will reset 1v2.
You would really love to have a frag grenade in your back pocket for those gunfights, but Celium somehow, some ways, eating every single bullet, staying alive, changing up his corners, and then you set up the team fires in the 2v1 scenario, realizing that Dashy is most likely going to be pre-aiming in the back of his spawn, playing for that guaranteed one-on-one. But a 2-on-1 is a lot better. Atlanta FaZe starting to pull away.
He was a bullet away from killing Cell maybe twice.
Yes.
But the big news, like you mentioned, is the little bit of separation here for FaZe. Doesn't feel as convincing as the scoreboard would lead you to believe, though. Shotzi still at 0-4, Sib still at 0-3, so there are some elements to still be considered here as we jump into round number 5, and FaZe will take an aggressive setup with the trophy system down over towards the underground.
Yeah, they're pushing aggressively through bottom pit, so gotta be ready for this.
Oh, nice, nice, nice. That's 2 down.
They find the initial
3-2.
kills.
He's in the spawn.
Yep. But man advantage Optic.
Yeah, this is just not where you want to be as FaZe is.
Why is there 2 B-side?
Gets tagged down to a bullet, but stays alive. He'll be the one to collect the bomb. Meanwhile, I say Pred had an angle over towards Cell's direction, but as Cell makes his way into the A site, he actually finds the kill. So now it's just to a 2v2, but still there are questions for FaZe on where exactly this Optic offense is.
Celium's at least getting the read on
Shotzi, you need to kill, bro.
Be developing as that bomb does go down. He's pushing his way behind enemy lines, going to take his sweet time working behind the spawn. And it's a crossfire setup from Optic Gaming towards B Street.
Time on Optic's side at the moment. Cell and Draza taking their time, but the shots from Cell are great. But Shotzi hasn't taken any shots of his own, so now there's question marks on where he's at. First 1v1 is good, pistol out, and almost. You thought for maybe a second he was going to pull the beat down out, but Draza too clean with the shots will get FaZe to 4.
And that's all comes down to Celium finding that kill onto Dashy, because once you get that kill, you're realizing, okay, they're probably setting a crossfire setup here, because he's not watching his back, so Shotzi has to be at an angle to try to cover his teammate. But the headshot's good enough for the first kill. The trade more
turned
effective
around
for
and
the
helped
final.
him out right there, man.
Atlanta FaZe starting to
And
run
then
away with
just
this game.
reposition, go on the
3
ground.
first bloods to 2. But even in the man disadvantage there, the ARs for Atlanta FaZe clutch on up.
Yeah, that's massive from Cell, I think, in particular, because it really starts at the 1v1 he gets over towards the A side of the map versus Pred. If that doesn't come through, that round's just over. So really
It's a
good
1v.
save.
It's a 4v3. No 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 no
no,
no 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 no
The
no
second,
no
but draws us right there to pick up on the
man.
damage tally.
No,
That's enough for now
man.
phase 2. What would you assume be a comfortable 4v2? Make it now a 4v1 as a Beezy starts to pop off.
And now you know who the last player alive is. It's going to be Dashy, so he's most likely in the back of the spawn watching an angle from one of these windows. He finds that kill onto a Beezy, but the bomb is getting planted. Another 1v3 opportunity, and his positioning is known.
Hey, we saw it with Miles on the interview. Pred said the most likely person on the team to pull a 1v4 would be Dashy. This one, maybe a little bit more hard-pressed, but still, the snap, the center is decent. Not enough to deal any further damage to the remaining couple of members, and with that now phase, again, it feels weird to see a 5-1 tally because these rounds have been so tremendously close.
But it's Atlanta FaZe doing their homework.
Yes.
Once again, they're realizing, okay, we have shut down the Optics play over towards Helipad. Shotzi's not going to jump up on that angle to try to contest for that first blood. We have shut down that pressure over towards B Street. So their only go-to to try to switch this game up in the pacing department is try to push out towards blue. And with the Beezy going from a Ravo 9 to an MCW, he just finds a free first kill, sets up Draza for the second. Easy round for Atlanta.
Yeah, the reads really have been great for FaZe off the breakoffs. It's just the fact that even with first bloods tallied, Optic have fought back pretty considerably. Not enough to make up on the scoreboard though, so now it's gonna have to be 5 in a row for Optic Gaming. Otherwise, it'll be a very convincing map number 2 for FaZe. Abeezy thinking he's got time and space to maybe get a little bit aggressive, but his window is just barely missed.
Team kill.
Yeah, and that's enough for Abeezy to find one. Pops back open. He's got every other member for
Shotzi,
Optic
please.
around him. That's enough to catch Shotzi before he can jump to safety, and now it's just down to Kenny. His now position is known. Kenny gets the beatdown though on to Cell. Now it's just down to Abeezy,
You
who
just
finds the
scammed.
one, and what a bounce back for FaZe. 6-1 in map number 2.
And that was a 2v4 clutch. Abeezy was stuck between a rock and a hard place, but the team kill is definitely going to help. Because as soon as that happens, Abeezy finds the second. He realizes there was pressure over that top propane. Whips out the Renetti, the movement too strong. Both the SMGs for Atlanta FaZe recently into this event switched to that hybrid, but they're able to hit them dives. But Abeezy just finessed tremendously over towards B Street, and what was a dominant map number 1 for Optic responded by a dominant map from Atlanta FaZe to tie it up at 1.
Get your get back real quick. And I think in particular, you had good maps from Cell and Draza.
Oh, yeah.
That's huge in terms of just getting the ARs clicking, especially with the maps to come.
It was a lot of clutches as well, man, because if you think Optic put themselves in a lot of man advantages situations. If you think about that 3v2 where Pred gets picks all the way across the map, you have to play those numbers a lot better. But then Atlanta FaZe, you allow 2v4 to happen. You allow a 1v2 to happen. All these things that bring them icy moments in search and destroy. They just showed it to fruition. Simp didn't really have to do anything. Don't worry, I got your comms. I'll plant your bombs. Don't worry about that. And then Shotzi on the other side was the biggest one that I looked at because he's the playmaker for Optic Gaming. He never found those openings and took advantage of them.
I think the thing about it is you got no smoke this time. How different this map feels, especially for someone like Shotzi who's trying to get those aggressive angles early, and if he gets in trouble, he can smoke himself, or if he gets there, he can smoke deeper. So, some interesting things with the patch changing between champs and now. But outside of the heroic 1v2 ace for Pred, this map was entirely in favor of FaZe, and a lot of it did start immediately with Abeezy. 3 first bloods, 10 kills, 2100 damage. Yeah, that's a map right there for the young man.
Yeah, he was just all over the map, man. He starts off with a bunch of first bloods, like you said. But then having that switch up in his game plan. All right, I'm going to run the Ravo 9 here. I'm going to switch to an MCW.
Yep.
In that final round, he puts out the MCW and gets aggressive over towards B Street. Usually do not see players make those kind of plays, but Abeezy never shies away from those kind of moments. And Atlanta FaZe just take advantage of every situation Optic threw at them.
Yeah, and again, just to hit this one final time, kind of ice the cake here, put a bow in the present, it's the fact of the matter that in the first 2 rounds, they had reads on what Shotzi was going to do.
Yep.
The offensive side, he's going to hit underground, he's going to jump up, mantle the B alley wall. You're dealing with it. You lay prone, you find the kill, no worries. Defensively, you know he's going to delay hit helipad. Abeezy maybe got an early read, maybe didn't. Regardless, he still held Shotzi back from taking over the map, which is critical when you play optic.
And the good thing to do versus Shotzi specifically early into these rounds is that his confidence is getting shot on those kind of plays. So he started to switch it up, trying to find different angles of attack, but couldn't find any success anywhere around the map.
Well, it's been pretty clean, and well, my duo here looking pretty clean.
Good, baby, we look good.
We're feeling it here in Riyadh. But after 2 blowout maps, we're going to go to an invasion control, which will hopefully get something a little bit more back and forth. Don't go far. We'll be right back after this.
He's going to the Lakers? I don't know if you guys can see that. You guys probably can't see that. But it says here, Golden State Warriors will trade Steph Curry to the Los Angeles Lakers. Nah, what is going on today, bro? It says, where to go? They lost their long-term staple in Klay Thompson. That's a fact. So they're saying that because there was a bond between LeBron and Curry in the Olympic Games, but okay, cool. LeBron's 40. Curry's 36, 37, right? Oh my, what is going on today, man?
Welcome back to the Esports World Cup featuring Modern Warfare 3 on Championship Sunday. The Optic Whites are out, but FaZe, after a disappointing map number 1, gave us the immediate redemption that we would want to see from a series fitting of El Clasico. Jay, we saw some dominance, though, and I think the thing about it is Optic are playing perfect hardpoint at the moment.
Yes, without question. It doesn't get any better than that. We know that Atlanta FaZe barely get a 100-point club, so let's go back and look at something from that map number 1.
We got some toys to play with. Okay. So we're going to do a little live Telestrator breakdown of this break towards P5. Okay, so here's the deal. What we started to see was FaZe were down bad. And what you're setting up is a P5 hold that has you watching every single cross point, and then one player in the middle that's going to flex between what happens over towards red or what happens over towards middle. The thing that's different about this play, though, is the fact that Optic have the cruise missile to play with. And I think more importantly, the fact is they get the information early, they get the elimination on towards cell, and then from here, you're only looking at one thing, and that is the player inside the hard point with this cruise missile. So you pop it in, you take him out of the point, and then here is where we really saw Optic dominate. It's in moments like this, not just on this hard point, but in others where, okay, we've got a free route, not only through the outside, but possibly through the middle, and then you've got players watching the cross. So the remaining members of the backside of this hill have no chance to actually get to Jay, and what that means is spawn manipulation. You push him all the way back towards the outside, and that is about as clean of a break as we could possibly see from Optic.
It doesn't get any easier than that. It all starts with that first kill onto the player in towards red, and then you realize, okay, we can invest the cruise missile onto the player on hill. We have the crosses covered on the back end, and then even with Pred finding one and getting traded, there's a teammate right behind them because you put yourself in a numbers advantage. It's just beautifully played in that map number 1 from Optic.
And I think the thing about it, comparing it to maybe the Toronto cruise missile or the Cloud9 one at the end of the day yesterday, was we're not just using the cruise to get the kill inside the hard point, we're using it to break down the entire map.
Yes.
That way we get an easier break, not just finding one kill, but separating out FaZe so much that they don't get their hold and they don't even get their spawns afterwards.
Yeah, it was just tough, man. Like, the map number 1 did not treat them well. Optic made simply no mistakes in that map number 1.
Big.
And it helps when you earning cruise missiles early on into the game. But enough about that map number 1. We already got through the search and destroy. It was about a 5-minute S&D from Atlanta FaZe. Multiple clutch rounds, but there is nothing more important in this series than this control. Because on the season, Atlanta are 6-1, and then we're playing on an invasion where they are, without question, the number 1 team on this map.
That's such a big point. And let's be honest, in terms of this series between these two teams, the control has often been the difference maker between them. So it feels fitting that we get an invasion, one that can often go the distance, but I will say, you know, looking at the recent history, we've gotten a lot of really good offensive looks for both. I think more so for the side of FaZe, who don't just get it done by the ticks, but they also are going to outslay you.
Yeah, they outslay on both sides of the field. And the good thing for them on the defensive side, they actually have 50 successful round wins and only 8 losses. So you have to do something tremendous if you want to take them down on the defensive end. But it's going to be Atlanta FaZe starting off on the attack. No trophy systems to show in this round number 1, but they're applying a lot of pressure around that mid-map.
Yeah, really good from FaZe to clear out mid, like you mentioned, but they do get taken down from actually stopping the clock on the B zone. And with the spawn from Cell, that allows them to move over towards Water Street. FaZe are going to test their luck over towards A. And with the first blood going the direction of aBeZy, there's a chance where you could stack and get some early progress here.
And it was just great plays from Simp, causing havoc over at that B point. You open up the lane over at A. First segment already in. All the initial kills in favor of Atlanta. That's 3 dead. Playing for the 4th. The double stack is going to be in. And Draza, he's communicating.
Stack, 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 stack. I think that's, I'm not, professional lip reader, but it did look like that may have been the call, and they will get the extra 60 seconds. So what a gut check call for FaZe. Win in the middle of the map, and now a chance to cut off Optic on rotation.
This is getting bad very, very quickly. Optic Gaming were not prepared for the aggressive Atlanta FaZe. We're going to start off on their attack. Already able to extend this game by an extra minute. So now all they have to do is work the easier point over towards B, but Selim is just playing for the spawners. He's watching the cross, making it difficult for Optic Gaming to have that numbers advantage over to at that B point.
Oh, and this is what we're talking about when it comes to Cell getting active on respawn. He's the one hitting the long pinch. Alerted is going to be Kenny. Decent fight back, and that'll be enough for Optic to clear out the flank and also simultaneously get some space from the front.
Fantastic plays right there from Pret to hold down that front angle, find a double. Now aBeZy, the last player standing for FaZe. He's able to catch a double. An effective trade still here from Optic Gaming. A lot of presence around this broken area, and was just a 6-point life lead in favor of Atlanta. Optic had brought it right on back.
I mean, considering the fact that Atlanta looked so good off of their breakoff, you're still dealing with Simp at just 1 and 5. So, I mean, the kills continue to be dominated by Optic as they set up a very aggressive zone in front of the B point. FaZe looking to work back through mid. You've got Pred watching one angle and Kenny getting deep in towards Ice Cream. This is not where you want the ARs of Optic.
Oh my God.
And Dashy, a little fadeaway onto Cell, takes down 2, and Optic continue to dominate in the kill feed.
If you shoot against the Batman, you better be shooting straight because that guy does not miss bullets. He's on 4 in a row. And at the same time, Draza at least finds an opening on that pinch. So one player coming off the respawn, you're able to take care of Kenny out of Ice Cream. Now Dashy has to clutch up and get a couple more.
Space through mid-map, though, for FaZe. Time becoming a bit of an issue. Dashy will be shut down, only getting 4 in a row. Alerted, though, is Kenny and Shotzzy, and as they try to hold ground in towards the backside of the B point, it's just down to finding Draza. And he may have slipped the net here. Simp on the point does get taken down, so Draza's going to have to step in to stop the clock at 16 seconds.
16 seconds to go, 9v9 in lives remaining. Draza just hoping that his teammates can watch over him. He's trying to put the game clock at a pause, but Dashy again finds a double. You send in Shotzzy to find a 3rd. That's a clean 4 dead. Would look to be a dominant round to start it off for Atlanta FaZe. Optic come back swinging with a 2-minute hold at that B point.
Unreal scenes, man. And we're going to exit away from this saying, hey, it's just 3 ticks of progress.
3 ticks!
Doesn't matter what zone it was on, it's still only 3 ticks. I think the biggest part about this is you're starting to see Cell get super active, super aggressive. And even in that moment, Optic are still very alerted to, hey, we haven't seen Cell yet. Let's just make sure he's not on our flank. Kenny gets that 1v1 win, and after that, Optic are all gas.
It was just Dashy finding double kill after double kill. Fred initially starting it off, holding down that tank area. But if you will absolutely take that if you are Optic Gaming. You give up early A segments, you give the only away 3, and you're forced to hold down that B point for 2 minutes, and you hold it down flawlessly. So now you're just going to do the easy work early on. You got trophy systems, let's just send this time early.
aBeZy playing down low at Treehouse. Shots over the top from Simp. The rest of FaZe lingering through mid-map, just making sure that all of Optic are fully intending on staying here at B. But as kills come out, now the defense has to rotate, and in that moment, Pred finds one. Maybe a chance for him to put some pressure on A, but Simp gets the quick trade. Problem is, you lose all your defenders at B.
Yeah, with Pred finding that kill, you're forcing Atlanta FaZe to play for that trade instead of putting all their reinforcements over towards B. So the second segment is on the way.
Wait, huh? He just shot through the... Yo, this guy's
trying to find the timing onto that kill on the back end, but Simp is able to get the better of him. Still the 3rd segment on the way.
Long-range engagement also happening over towards Water Street, so FaZe will have to stay pretty responsible over towards this A site. Good pistol win from Simp. That depletes a little bit of the progress and also keeps the clock ticking for the FaZe defense. But with Cell the only one still standing, Kenny is very aware that he's probably playing up top at an angle. This comes down to does he actually confirm that information or not, and the answer is he doesn't need to. Point will be captured, 60 seconds added, and now just over 2 minutes for Optic to work with.
Tied up in segments now. Atlanta face the best team that we have on the defensive side, and they're hoping to show it here as they find an early 3 kills in the feed. You have one player from Optic who's still alive, though, in Dashy. He finds himself in towards DBD, but they spot him. Now that's all 4 players accounted for. Time to put him in the trap.
Just as much as Optic dominated on their B defense after the first 3 ticks were captured,
The fuck is this part,
has
Draza?
the makings of something similar for FaZe over towards the A zone. Draza pushing back over. Does get a couple of tags, allowing Celium to pick up on his work, not once, but twice. So, again, the ARs for Atlanta really coming to life here on this defense.
Oh, great shots out of Draza to back down Dashy for a little bit, but still got to worry about this overextension because Shotzi finds that kill onto Abizi. So he's going to play for that spawn kill once again. He's going to switch up the angle this time.
Look at Shotzi. Look at Shotzi. Look at Shotzi.
Not having a good time
He's in there. He's in there, bro.
He's going to force that spawn now behind him and take a little bit more ground away.
I think that was 3 straight lives that Shotzi took down Abizi. And now Shotzi's making moves over towards the zone itself. Abizi's trying to get his revenge. Stun is through. Shotzi's already out of there. Trophy system. No chance to shoot back. Follow-up looked good, and it will be as Draza and Simp will make sure the A zone continues to stay clear.
It's already been a minute wiped off the game clock. Celium off the respawn is able to take care of the closest player. Pushed up from Optic Gaming. But this is where Dashy just needs to hold down his lane. He needs to allow the SMGs who are running the air on this map.
One shot Simp. One shot Simp.
I mean, Bruce is finding every single snap. The stun lands, he immediately pops up, finds damage into Simp, who can no longer shout from the fire truck, but as the rest of FaZe clear out that back alley, now it's an opportunity just to isolate and focus just on Dashy, who continues to give him a bit of a workout here. Holds Optic now taking a chance to play through the OE, 25 seconds. They got
He's locked!
Dashy continue to pepper because your teammates are applying the pressure on the deep side.
Behind you, Laundry!
You can set up the crossfires, but more effective trades coming in from Atlanta.
Oh my God,
now
come on, we need one break, man.
Pushed on up. With only 15 seconds left, I don't think that Optic Game are going to be able to get close towards A.
Likely not, unless Pred can find kills through Water Street and allow this run-up to be very clean. And whoa, hold on a second. Timing here is decent. Finds Simp for the first. Draza fighting from inside the zone. Connected from Optic. Stop the clock. Kenny trying to get there. Not going to happen. And no one else will touch. So FaZe respond with an equally as impressive defense as Optic provided in round 1.
And Optic were hoping when they find themselves in that scenario where they have a lot of mid-map control, they just need a double kill to go in their way. It was always Atlanta FaZe trading effectively. Beezy spawning off, even though he wasn't having a good time initially versus Shotzi, he was able to find that kill towards the very end, and then you're keeping them trapped in. You're focused on the OE, leaving Dashy alone over towards Water Street, holding a pre-aim. You know that he's not going to try to make that individual play unless his teammates are there with him. And Atlanta FaZe respond by only allowing 3 seconds to get away from him, so we're all tied up in that column.
That's a really nice highlight of the discipline from FaZe. Even though they have 3 members that could rush at Dashy, there's no need to. No need to put that risk into play. It's a really good highlight out of you, Jay. Again, it's like you played this game professionally at one point in time.
One time, you know, a couple times, a couple years.
Nice. Watch underneath you, Shotzi. You already know.
Make sure Shotzi does get taken care of topside treehouse. And that will lead to probably at least 2 ticks of progress, maybe the full zone as Optic are fully focused and sending their defense up for A.
Yeah, they want to make sure they maintain this middle of the map because this is where Atlanta FaZe thrive through the chaos. You do have Draza on 5 in a row. Can invest that trophy system to simply play his life even better. Second segment on the way, and you already have players like Selim contesting over towards Water Street. So how do Optic Game decide to apply pressure here?
And that's exactly how FaZe counteract the opportunity for Optic to even consider possibly putting anything in play. So now you've got a cruise missile earned for Draza. The Water Street's wide open. Draza could play through Laundry, an extra 60 seconds on the clock. I mean, it's a laundry list of things going right here for FaZe.
They're already in the point as well. Draza spots the first player on the cross. He sets up his team into Beezy for that first kill. Now the double stack is going to be in, but you do not have a trophy system. So if you are Optic Gaming, throw everything that you got.
All opening shots are good. Kenny dealt with. Simper on the back almost turns that into a double. Now it's just down to 1, though. Good shots out of Dashy. Able to find the first cleanly. Second tick of progress, though. Gonna get locked in. Pred v Cell. Maybe for the round here, but Cell will be stunned up. Maybe doesn't make a difference. He still takes 1 with him.
And now it's more difficult because already Atlanta FaZe worked their way out of their spawn. A lot of pressure around this mid-map area, and if you are Optic Gaming, you are forced to iron up. Clutch up in these gunfights. Fred strikes for the first. Draza effective on the trade, but look at the clinch coming in from Abizi.
Yeah, but Abizi has been damaged up pretty heavily.
Oh!
What? Oh my goodness. Almost the finesse of Abizi's career right there. But Optic deal with it, and in that moment, they also regain close spawns to keep this defense alive.
And Atlanta have a minute and 45. 7 lives, only 13 remaining for Optic. Big nade over the top, and this is where the cruise missile is going to get invested. Abizi finds another. They gain the info that the last player was in towards Cafe. That's already 3 dead. The double stack is going to be in, and this might be the round.
Yeah, sure feels that way. Shotzi also taken from behind over towards Laundry, so there's no way to get the defense back involved, and it is going to be a full capture for FaZe. Wow. I mean, offensive success towards A has been unreal clean from FaZe.
They are the #1 attacking team and the #1 defending team. I forgot to mention that in the beginning of the game.
Casual.
They find the most success on that side of the map because they are always keeping up in that slaying department, never getting outslayed, never getting forced to be trapped in towards the back of their spawn. And then when you have a cruise missile in the back pocket, it only makes your job a lot easier, especially when Celium finds that initial 2 kills over towards Water Street. You call in the cruise, you give the info to Abizi, he finds a double. And that was the round. Up by 6 segments now is Atlanta.
Yep, and so what that means here is Optic will have to win the offense by ticks of progression. Then we got to do some math in the kills to determine who gets the round 5 defense. Opener, good from Shotzi. Already getting control over towards Treehouse side. Clock will stop with a lot of time on it. 1:21 still remaining as Pred gets a read towards Abizi at DVD.
First segment about to come in, but Abizi now on 5 in a row. Does get instantly traded by Dashy. Simp and Draza, though, they combine for 2, so it's only Kenny in this position, and now that leads to a 4 dead. You are forced to work out of your spawn. They have the crossfire set up. Optic are not going to have a good time here.
You cannot allow Draza and Simp to take control of this B-side tank either, and this is just getting disastrous for Optic's offensive hopes. Cell on 4 in a row, trying to back up to safety on the water bridge, and he's got help nearby. Simp keeps him alive. Abizi follows up behind it, and Optic are trapped in Palace.
50 seconds to go. You have to work your way out now and hopefully not allow the streaks to develop on the side of Celium. Cruise missile earned. 20 and 13 out of this young man. Leading EWC in the KD department. All of Atlanta FaZe trapping Optic Gaming in towards the backside of this Palace area. And they are simply running out of time.
Yep. I mean, they've only got 2 kills, have Optic. And it's still staying that way. 28 plays 17. And you just gotta feel like the conversations are already starting to happen for Subbase, because how do you break through this? Draza now on 3 in a row. Maybe one last desperate hope, but no! Simp crushes dreams on 5. Maybe not even needed to get the 6, because let's be candid, Optic are not getting either of these zones.
And if you're selling him, just call in the cruise missile. Who cares? There's only 7 seconds left. Optic is still going to be tapped into their spawn. You're watching the overextension over towards B. Production already knows we don't even got to see the end of the map, because that's Atlanta FaZe again, dominating on another control versus Optic Gaming, now up 2-1.
Blowout map after blowout map through 3. After a heck of a statement was started by Optic, now all of a sudden, it's Draws and Cell. Picking it back up, they go a combined 44 and 25. Nearly double positive for both the ARs combined.
And you got to think, in that round #1 for FaZe, you're probably a little bit demoralized because you gain that early A capture and then Optic are able to shut you down at that B point. But everything after that was completely flawless out of Atlanta. They went on their attacking side. Draza already earns himself that cruise missile, but Celium playing discipline the way that he is. In that map and mode, you don't really have to move a lot. You just got to dominate your power position, and he held down Water Street to the T. He might have been Aquaman.
Dude, the non-traded kills in the last 2 maps for FaZe have been unbelievable. I mean, we're talking about a couple of trades. You can count it between both hands. Maybe you have to pull a toe or 2, but regardless, it's really clean from FaZe. And that comes all after what looked to be a gut-wrenching first round. Doesn't make a difference. I mean, just the immediate response for FaZe on their first defense, and then getting the A zone first, followed by a complete capture.
We're gonna get it back.
Absolutely beautiful stuff for FaZe.
And Atlanta FaZe look completely different now compared to that map #1. Guns are a little bit more hot. The teamwork aspect is definitely showing, because Optic are thinking, okay, Celium is one shot, I'm just gonna send it on to him. But then that's when you have players like Simp right behind him, watching those crosses. Everything right now is clicking for Atlanta FaZe after a terrible map #1. Now leading 2-1 into this series. This is the map that I had highlighted. Because they only played it a total of 10 times. They have a record of 4 and 6. Optic on the opposing end are 13 and 2 on Subbase, and we have had the opportunity to watch them play it this weekend, and they dominated. But the mind games are coming into play now. What do Atlanta FaZe have in store on a map like Subbase?
And keep in mind, you mentioned this, just to confirm it, this is FaZe picking the map. They will not be spawning on the favorite side, so there better be something in the oven here, because the times we have seen FaZe pick the map and start on the unfavored side as often when they get blown out. So we may just have 4 blowout maps if Optic continue to play this map to the standard that we expect them to.
Yeah, and especially if the ARs ain't coming to play, because we're going into a sub-base where it's going to be AR dominant. And the way that Draza and Celium are shooting after that map number 1 is simply stellar. 29 traded kills here and there. Always finding clutch gunfights. 2v4s, even in the search and destroys. These guys are clicking on all cylinders right now. So if you are Optic Gaming, you need to make sure you are able to thrive through that chaos. Because you know on sub-base, sometimes the parallel spawns can come in, but you have to be able to read in those situations.
Yep, I think that's the most important part, not just for FaZe. It definitely highlights with FaZe, but it's on both sides. Rotationally, FaZe has been one of the best teams in Hardpoint on the year.
Yeah.
With the exception of this map.
Yep.
That's been the only one that's kind of thrown a bit of a wrench into the system of what has been domination from FaZe pretty much throughout the entirety of the year.
And it's due to the fact that they barely played it a lot. So when they were getting slammed in the beginning of the year on sub-base, all their stats are basically to be all the way at the bottom with everyone else playing a lot of sub-bases. But you have the opportunity here to showcase your skills on a map that you have barely played throughout the season. Draza letting the boys know, job not done yet. Energy is flowing, the vibes are there for Atlanta FaZe. Just one map until they move to the grand finals.
Let's see if they can find a way to do it against Optic on what has been one of their catalysts throughout the entirety of the year on Hardpoint. Sub-base.
Come on, man. Y'all gotta lock
FaZe
it in, man.
over on the bad side.
Come on,
what
man.
do you have in store for us, Atlanta?
Come on,
Otherwise,
man.
for Optic, I think you're looking at this map saying, our turn to blow you right back out again.
I'm hoping it's not a blowout. I hope it's a nail-biter of a game towards the very end.
Selfishly, yes.
But it's going to be Optic, at least starting off on the preferred side, but none of the kills going their way. Great shoulder out of a BZ. He's going to set up his teammate Instant for the potential kill, and this is where the double child comes in. Optic still have the spawns, but Atlanta successful on the early break.
And that's another moment where you can highlight the homework for FaZe. When we saw Shotzi and Optic play this map from the favored side, it was up and through top glass.
Yep.
There's a stun waiting for him this time. So really smooth stuff for FaZe, as they will now make their first efforts towards trying to flip the map. Pred in their way, trying to see if he can catch Simp. A moment of second guessing, but he eventually is able to find him, locate, and also confirm the kill.
Yeah, you couldn't lose track of Simp right there because he potentially would have spawned you all the way across the map. But Atlanta take 15 seconds at that P1, but Pred single-handedly dominating off this rotation. He is going to allow one player to slip on by, but the teammates holding down the spawns are able to respawn and take down Celium. So now Optic Gaming in the position to run this score up here at P2.
Interesting route here for number 5 in green. Shots is going to get to top glass to make sure the maze stays safe. So this is going to make sure that Optic have their full focus on what comes through warehouse and what could potentially hit them through the P2 stairs. Fred, the first one in action. Good for the opener. Now it's down to getting a read on everybody else, and that's what you expect. The problem is Abizi has gotten around the back, and there is a chance for FaZe to make a mess of this setup.
Fred has always been one of the best players at sub-base HP. He just knows the timings, knows where the pressure is coming in, and already finds himself on 5 in a row. Can he earn himself an early cruise? And he's going to be blessed with that kill onto Draza. Now you can start to hit that rotation because the break only comes in for the final 15.
Yeah.
You will take that spawns flip, Optic Gaming win a rotation anew.
Especially with the cruise whistle being earned, I know it's not going to feel like a net win on P2 because FaZe were able to contest a lot of time and also earn a bit of the scrap, but this is where the game could get very out of hand very quickly. Dashy double over through Warriorhouse side. However, FaZe, because the hardpoint wasn't open yet, will actually get one more spawner close. Can they find a way to surprise the setup? And Celium will give us our first answer of a yes.
You see the route out of Simp. He's going to spawn, continuously spawn that player in Pred across the map. He's applying pressure on the back end. Dash is sitting at one shot. 38 HP.
Wow.
He's going to commit on the gunfight, and the early break comes in for Atlanta. And now with 40 seconds left, Optic, you do not want to invest that cruise missile here.
No, not at all.
Cruise missiles on P3 on sub-base are not effective.
A BZ one shot away from getting himself a cruise missile as well. Going to be denied. Trades are decent. I think a chance to try to work their way back in for some scrap time, especially with the spawns being close, but Sip, perfect tracking, takes down Dashy, and now it's just down to how long can Chris stay alive.
That's all it comes down to. What more can Chris get done on this side of the map? Unfortunately, nothing. So Optic are basically going to tie the game up with that final jump time. And Atlanta FaZe put themselves in a position to win the rotation over towards New. But Pred already causing mayhem over towards the generators, is able to take down one, but he opens up a lane for his teammates to get out of that backside.
And I will say, just kind of again, talking about what we said at the pre-map, this has been good macro game from Atlanta. Optic are giving them a workout, but FaZe have manipulated enough to get themselves a bit of a lead. Cruise missile now being called in. Fred's going to take down 2 from the backside of the site, and simultaneously, Kenny's going to play backside tarps, but he gets shut down, and FaZe will still spawn in.
That's because Optic Gaming were blocking that Water Street spawn. You would love to push yourself around the OE, allow Atlanta FaZe to spawn all the way across the map, but the cruise missile is not going to be non-effective in this scenario. You get a double, but Atlanta spawned right into the back. They are still holding on to the hill. Simp and Draza finding the trades, and I don't think Optic Gaming are going to find a break here, so you're forced to cut your losses and hit that rotation anew.
Yeah, this is just down to if Kenny can maybe take someone out of the hill. Not going to happen, so you have to resort to coming off spawn and purely focusing on the mid lane, setting up for P5. Dashy over towards Tankers. Shotzzy going to join him. Kenny off spawn will be the one to get into the hill.
40-point difference right now in favor of Atlanta. As Celium, I don't know how he wins that second gunfight versus Shotzzy, but he's always prepared for those gunfights. And now Optic taking away a lot of the space on the left side of your minimap over towards Jens, but you would want Dashy to find that kill. Celium again, finding another clutch gunfight. Now the rest of the teammates swarm their way through the middle of the map. Easy break for Atlanta. Now all of Optic spawning at Warehouse.
Quick reactions from FaZe. Not able to just get the players out of the key positions towards P2, but the stats up to the Warehouse high ground, also good. 40 points. Again, the lead for FaZe. Growing beyond that as Optic can't go through Warehouse anymore, and they're being shut down on the long route by Abizi, who's purely watching the OE.
Again, they're forced to hit that rotation early on. This is what sub-base tends out to be. When you're trapped on that side of the map, you have to work your way on out. You have to flip the map on its head for you to stand a chance back into this game. A 60-point lead from Atlanta FaZe, but you can already see Optic have worked their way around that Warehouse through P2. They're finding the kills around the middle of the map, and now they take the spawns right on back.
And that's what I was about to say, is this is not only a good neutralization of FaZe in the middle of the map, but it will flip the map as well. So it's a long game. It's a patient game. But Optic are doing what they need to try to get themselves back into the game. FaZe still fighting, but Optic desperately trying to hold on. We jump into an Optic Gaming. Listen it.
I know time.
I spawn out, P2. Wasn't hit right late, bros.
Be killing time.
Watch out, 8-ball time. Can I, our boxes.
And
He's laying down our boxes.
Carrom
on time. Watch your server. Watch your server.
I Carrom sent.
Start aping the time, bro. Let's go. Come on.
Yeah.
One long. I can kill the guy right.
He's the server on top. Out tunnel. What's out tunnel?
Both sides on time. Both sides. Simple time.
I might be from P2, bro.
Simple time.
He'll be from P2.
I can try to play right.
I hear you.
Simple time. Absolutely. One lockers. Lockers and simple time.
Oh my god, man.
Rockets, cat room, ape.
Come on.
He's going old.
On top of
One's out summer.
Let's go.
Front tunnel. Alright, front node. Both node. Last two node. FC and node.
Jump for sure. Hey, what would a BZ? Half health for me.
Alright, I needed it for you, bro. Take your time.
Abe on
We're gonna top cat, boys.
Abe still out.
Top's not going.
We gotta live. I'm trying to play duo.
So dead, dude.
Two on you guys.
Top P2.
I wrapped the right.
I'm on your left.
There's 2 on you. One more. He's close.
Time to top P2. They're all over time.
I'm
I got one on you.
In the back.
On me.
Nice one. Missing one.
Probably dark or some shit.
Hey, get me the back of me.
I'm circling.
I'll see him.
Top P2, guys. Last guy. He's on time.
On top some.
Low right.
I'm dead.
Nice.
Wait, spawning in the back.
There's one tunnel, guys.
I stun him dark.
I'll get you top in 1 second.
I was dark.
Top P2, shut up.
Dark.
Side on me. Side over the weak. Side.
Three.
Last guy sells. Should be close.
Yeah, I'm with you, Ken.
I'm so one. I'll play close right.
I'll block.
I'm loading, Ken.
I'm blocking.
Loading, Ken. I'm on shot.
I got it. There's 3 I can stun 3. All there.
2 loading, 3.
All there. Forklift. They can go out.
2 loading.
Oh, good.
2 loading the play the roll.
I reside plat.
We can change these.
Here we go. Outside plat. They can go right.
Salzado, he's super weak.
Let me play the right.
I'm trying to get the right.
Really weak side though. Really weak side though.
I 2-0.
Okay, one
Hold
with
down
P1.
for P5.
One with P1.
Alright, for P5 node.
Yeah,
I'm picking up the right.
He's gonna go top snow. I think he's grabbing top snow.
I hear you.
I have the right, okay? I have the right.
I'll stun 8 top side.
Yeah.
I have the right.
I have time.
I have your low P5. You can play out.
I'm a tunnel.
Some struggles there, going from 1 to 2. Optic do a decent job on the second hill, but the gap is still 100 points, which means they need a full 60 here at New, and Simp again from the front is able to take the 2 contestants of Optic out of the hill, and a BZ slams Dashy as the break is already good.
The season MVP walks his way right through mid-tunnel and is able to find a 3-piece, and at the same time, that's why your Tiny Terra duo in a BZ blocking that back spawn, spawning Optic all the way across the map, and now Chris Slayer, he's everywhere on 5 in a row. Trying to find the 6 for the cruise missile, and there it is.
Well, this has been just about as clean as you get. Atlanta's going to get to 230. One last final comms check with FaZe, trying to take down the defending champs.
MC's flying on you. I have time. Try to block. The next kill league spawns out probably. I'm going secret, okay? They're still spawning. In the back. This 22, last 2. Let's go. Last kid. Oh, nice! I'm out ramp. I mid. Yep.
Yeah, nice.
I have a streak. I'm streaking. I'm
I
streaking.
don't have secret. I don't have secret.
Call him out. Listen. Yo, 2 warehouse, 2 in front.
That P2.
Hey, P2. 2 comms. 2 comms. P2.
Yo, Tom's up. P2.
I'll get P2.
We're good.
Well, it looked like FaZe about to put the game away here, but a team kill comes out of the cruise missile. Optic will hold on by getting in from the front. FaZe split spawning, still trying to find the final 10.
Optic have the numbers. They just have to find these gunfights through the back end. If you are Atlanta, you just want to take your time here. Wait for this pinch to develop out of Sif. He's able to find the first. The turnover potentially onto Dashy, but he's going to set up his teammates. Still one player left in the hill in Dashy. He's making it happen. He's able to find a 3. Optic game and take the spawns right on back.
Still a lot of work to be done here, though, for Optic. This is just step 1 of what's going to be about a 15-step process. 10 seconds of scrap time looking good. Dashy red on the pinch attempt over towards warehouse. So now you got to move quickly if you're Optic. You cannot allow Atlanta to find any time.
Absolutely not. You have to work your way over towards top snow. You got to contest this hill early on, as now Atlanta FaZe only 10 seconds away from securing this series.
Last hit for Optic. Shotzi right around the back. Last 3 seconds now coming through, and it's just down to Kenny. And it's Straza who finds all 3. It may have been a slow start, but it's a heck of a hot finish as Atlanta FaZe take down the world champs of Optic Gaming in 4.
And that is why we will always call Atlanta FaZe a big dog all through our Call of Duty. Even them getting absolutely beat up in that map number 1, the next 3 maps weren't even